There is a strange law hidden beneath the surface of human behavior, a law that most people feel, but almost never name. The more desperate a man is to prove himself, the less power he appears to have. He may speak loudly, move quickly, explain endlessly, defend his worth before anyone has truly questioned it. And yet, with every gesture of urgency, something invisible leaks from him. Authority does not always vanish through failure. Sometimes it vanishes through overexposure. Sometimes a man loses his throne, not because an enemy defeats him, but because he keeps standing up to announce that he deserves to sit on it. Powerful men understand this instinctively. They do not rush to prove themselves because they know that rushing is often a confession. It reveals hunger. It reveals need. It reveals that the opinion of the room has become heavier than the center of their own being. The man who hurries to prove his intelligence is often afraid of being seen as foolish. The man who rushes to prove his strength is often haunted by weakness. The man who cannot tolerate silence after being misunderstood has already handed his emotional keys to the crowd. His inner kingdom no longer belongs to him. It is being governed by every face, every reaction, every rumor, every raised eyebrow. There is something almost cosmic about this. In the universe, the greatest forces rarely announce themselves with noise. Gravity does not argue with the planets. It does not beg the moon to obey. It simply exists with such depth and consistency that motion organizes itself around it. The sun does not chase the earth to prove its warmth. It burns in place, and entire worlds arrange their days around its presence. The ocean does not explain its power to every wave that rises from it. It allows the surface to move while its depths remain ancient, dark, and undisturbed. True power often resembles these forces. It is not frantic. It does not perform itself into existence. It rests in its own weight. A man who never rushes to prove himself is not passive. He is not weak, indifferent, or emotionally dead. He is disciplined at a level that the impatient cannot understand. He has learned that timing is a weapon, silence is a shield, and restraint is a form of wealth. He knows that the world is filled with people trying to pull him into small arenas where he must explain, justify, react, compete, and display himself for temporary approval. But he also knows that not every invitation deserves attendance. Not every accusation deserves an answer. Not every doubt deserves proof. Some doubts are traps disguised as questions. Some challenges are not tests of strength, but tests of emotional obedience. This is where most men fail. They mistake reaction for action. They confuse defending themselves with protecting themselves. They think every misunderstanding is a fire that must be extinguished immediately, when in truth, many misunderstandings are simply smoke sent by others to see whether you will panic. The weak man runs toward the smoke. The powerful man watches the wind. He does not need to answer every distortion because he understands that time exposes what argument cannot. Character, when it is real, does not need to shout. It accumulates quietly. It becomes visible through pattern, not performance. To rush to prove oneself is to live under the tyranny of immediate perception. It is to believe that if people do not understand you now, you are in danger. But powerful men have made peace with temporary misinterpretation. They can endure being underestimated. In fact, they often prefer it. Being underestimated gives them space. It allows them to move without the burden of applause. It keeps their enemies careless and their ambitions protected. The man addicted to recognition must reveal his cards early. The man at peace with obscurity can build in silence until the result becomes undeniable. There is a hidden hierarchy in every room. It is not always written in titles, wealth, or volume. Often, it is written in nervous systems. The person who needs the least validation controls the emotional temperature. The person who can remain calm while others perform becomes the axis around which attention begins to turn. This is why powerful men often appear slower, quieter, and more difficult to read. Their restraint creates gravity. Their pauses create pressure. Their refusal to over-explain forces others to sit with uncertainty. And uncertainty in the realm of power is not emptiness. It is space. It is a mystery. It is leverage. The modern world trains men to do the opposite. It teaches constant visibility, constant expression, constant proof. Show your success. Defend your opinion. Explain your silence. Justify your boundaries. Boast your progress. Announce your ambition. Respond immediately. Prove that you're valuable before anyone forgets you exist. But the deeper architecture of power has never changed. What is rare becomes valuable. What is too available becomes common. What explains itself too often becomes smaller in the eyes of others. A man who is always trying to be understood becomes easy to manage because his fear is visible. He cannot bear the discomfort of being misread. The powerful man has crossed that threshold. He has accepted that the world does not need to understand him at every stage. He does not rush because he is not building for the appetite of the moment. He is building for the weight of the final outcome. He is not seduced by the small victory of proving someone wrong today if it costs him the greater advantage tomorrow. He does not waste sacred energy trying to convince people who have already chosen not to see. He knows that proof offered too early is often consumed without respect. But proof revealed at the right time changes the structure of the game. This is not merely a lesson about ego. It is a lesson about energy, hierarchy, money, discipline, and human perception. A man who rushes to prove himself becomes predictable, and what is predictable can be controlled. A man who does not rush becomes harder to pressure. He is not easily baited by insult, seduced by praise, or trapped by urgency. He carries within him the quiet violence of self-possession. Not violence against others, but violence against his own weaker impulses. The urge to explain, the urge to impress, the urge to be seen as powerful before he has become powerful in reality. And so, the question is not simply why powerful men never rush to prove themselves. The deeper question is what they know about time, attention, and human weakness that others do not. They understand that power is not built in the moment of display, but in the unseen hours before display becomes unnecessary. They understand that the need to prove is often the last chain of the insecure. And they understand that the man who can wait, who can remain unreadable, who can let his results speak when the season is right, becomes dangerous in a way that loud men can never imitate. At the center of this principle is a quiet distinction that separates men who merely desire power from men who have begun to embody it. The first kind of man is always reaching outward. His sense of worth lives outside his skin, scattered among other people's opinions like coins dropped across a crowded floor. He bends down again and again to collect them. A compliment restores him. A criticism wounds him. A misunderstanding consumes him. His life becomes a series of emotional negotiation with the world, as if he must constantly ask permission to believe in himself. But the powerful man gradually gathers those scattered coins back into his own hand. He begins to understand that the deepest form of authority is not granted by the crowd. It is cultivated in the unseen chamber of self-command. This is why powerful men do not rush to prove themselves. They understand that proof has a price. Every time a man feels compelled to demonstrate his value immediately, he gives away information about what controls him. He reveals where he is sensitive. He reveals what insult can move him. He reveals which audience he secretly worships. In the language of power, urgency is often a map of dependency. Whoever can make you hurry can make you obey. Whoever can make you defend yourself on command has already placed a strain around your nervous system. This is not always done with cruelty. Sometimes it happens through subtle pressure, through silence, through comparison, through a question asked with just enough doubt to awaken the old wound inside you. The untrained man reacts. The disciplined man notices. The first core truth, then, is that composure is not a personality trait. It is a form of control. A calm man is not necessarily calm because nothing touches him. Often, he is calm because he has trained himself not to hand the steering wheel of his inner world to every passing disturbance. This is a profound form of hidden wealth. Money can buy distance from certain problems, but self-command buys distance from manipulation. A man who cannot control his reactions can be ruled even if he is rich. A man who can control his reactions possesses a kind of invisible fortune even before the world recognizes him. He is not cheap to provoke. He is not easily purchased with approval. He is not dragged into every emotional market where people trade dignity for temporary validation. The second theme is timing. Power is not only about strength. It is about when strength is revealed. A sword drawn too early may frighten for a moment, but it also tells the enemy its length, its weight, and the hand that holds it. The man who must prove himself quickly exposes his resources before the moment requires them. He speaks before silence has done its work. He explains before curiosity has matured. He reveals before the room has shown its true intentions. Powerful men understand that timing turns ordinary action into strategy. The same sentence spoken too soon sounds defensive, but spoken at the right moment becomes final. The same achievement displayed too early invites envy and sabotage, but revealed after completion becomes difficult to deny. Time is not empty space. Time is an instrument. Beneath this lies the deeper theme of perception. Most people think reality creates reputation, but in social life, perception often moves faster than truth. People judge fragments. They build entire stories from pauses, clothing, tone, silence, income, posture, and who appears to need whom. This does not mean one should become vacant or theatrical. It means one must become aware that every reaction teaches others how to treat you. If you panic when doubted, people learn that doubt has power over you. If you over-explain when challenged, people learn that your certainty can be shaken. If you rush to display success, people sense that success has not yet settled into your bones. But when you remain measured, when you allow silence to absorb the first wave of pressure, when you respond from choice rather than compulsion, you alter the emotional geometry of the room. Another guiding concept is the difference between being seen and being understood. The immature man wants both immediately. He wants his effort recognized, his motives interpreted fairly, his intelligence admired, his pain respected, and his ambition validated. But life rarely offers such clean justice. The world is full of hurried observers, wounded egos, jealous minds, and people who can only understand others through the limits of their own experience. To demand instant understanding from such a world is to suffer endlessly. Powerful men do not depend on being understood at every stage. They accept that growth often looks strange before it looks impressive. Discipline looks boring before it looks dominant. Silence looks weak before it becomes intimidating. Distance looks cold before it becomes respected. The seed buried underground is not failing because no one applauds it. It is becoming dangerous in the dark. This is connected to the illusion of proving. Most people believe that once they explain enough, demonstrate enough, or argue well enough, others will finally see their value. But this is often false. Some people do not doubt you because evidence is missing. They doubt you because doubt gives them a feeling of superiority. Some people misunderstand you not because your truth isn't clear, but because their identity depends on not seeing you clearly. To keep proving yourself to such people is like pouring water into a broken vessel and wondering why it never fills. Powerful men learn to stop making offerings at altars that do not deserve worship. They conserve their energy for construction, not persuasion. There is also a financial dimension to this principle. The need to prove oneself often becomes expensive. Men buy things they do not need to signal status to people they do not respect. They enter debt to appear successful before they are stable. They spend future freedom to purchase present admiration. In this sense, rushing to prove oneself is not only emotional weakness, it can become economic captivity. The system understands this very well. It sells identity to insecure men. It sells luxury as evidence. It sells urgency as ambition. It whispers that if you do not display your worth, you may not have any. But the powerful man reverses the equation. He would rather be underestimated with assets than admired with liabilities. He would rather own his time quietly than rent an image loudly. At the deepest level, the theme is self-possession. A man who never rushes to prove himself has made a private agreement with his own soul. He has decided that his life will not be governed by the speed of other people's judgments. He is willing to let the shallow misread him. He is willing to let the impatient leave. He is willing to let competitors exhaust themselves in display while he strengthens the foundation. This does not make him emotionless. It makes him sovereign. His power is not in refusing to act, but in refusing to be forced into action by insecurity. He moves when movement serves the mission. He speaks when speech carries weight. He reveals when revelation increases leverage. And until then, he allows silence to do what silence has always done for the disciplined. Protect the sacred work before it is ready to be seen. Imagine a stone fortress built high above a valley, older than the roads that lead to it, older than the banners carried by the men below. At its gates stands no shouting guard, no trembling messenger, no desperate herald declaring the strength of the walls. The fortress does not explain itself to the traveler. It does not lower its drawbridge because someone in the valley mocks its silence. It does not light every window to prove that people live inside. It simply remains. And because it remains, because it does not hurry to answer every voice that echoes up from below, the valley begins to organize its imagination around it. Some fear it, some envy it, some invent stories about it, but none can ignore its presence. This is the symbolic shape of the powerful man. He is not powerful because every passerby understands him. He is powerful because he does not abandon his height to argue in the dust. There is an old kind of weakness that disguises itself as courage. It rushes down from the fortress whenever a stranger insults the walls. It opens the gates for every rumor, every accusation, every challenge thrown from the valley floor. It believes that dignity must be defended instantly, or it will vanish. But every time the gate opens for something small, the fortress becomes less mysterious, less protected, less sovereign. The crowd learns how easily it can summon the king. One shout, and he appears. One insult, and he descends. One doubt, and he leaves the throne to prove that the throne is his. In time, he is no longer ruling the fortress. The valley is ruling him. Now imagine another figure, a chess master seated in a dim room beneath a single lamp. Across from him is a restless opponent, tapping the table, smiling too early, moving pieces with theatrical confidence. The restless player wants reaction. He wants the master to frown, to hurry, to defend, to show fear. He wants proof that his pressure is working. But the master does not rush. His stillness is not emptiness, it is calculation. He knows that a move made to relieve discomfort is often a move that weakens the board. So he waits. He lets the opponent reveal his appetite. He lets impatience expose the hidden structure of the attack. And when he finally moves, the piece travels only one square, quietly, almost modestly, yet the whole game changes. This is the hidden narrative behind restraint. The world is full of people trying to make you move before you have seen the board. They throw questions like stones. They create urgency like smoke. They accuse you of weakness for not reacting because they want access to the part of you that still needs to be seen as strong. But the strategic man understands that not every battlefield is worthy of his army. Some battles exist only to reveal his position. Some invitations are traps. Some people do not want truth. They want emotional evidence that they can affect you. To deny them that evidence is not cowardice. It is command. There is also the story of the buried seed. Above the soil, the world belongs to visible things. Flowers receive admiration. Trees cast shadows. Fruit is counted, weighed, and sold. But the seed begins in darkness, unseen, and easily dismissed. If the seed were insecure, it might tear itself open too early, desperate to prove that life exists inside it. It might demand witness before it has roots. It might mistake visibility for growth. But nature does not obey the vanity of the impatient. The seed must disappear before it rises. It must surrender to the hidden season. It must grow where no applause can reach it. Only then can it break the surface with enough force to endure the weather. A man building real power passes through this same underground season. There are years when his discipline has no audience, when his sacrifice looks like failure, when his silence is mistaken for emptiness, when his refusal to display is interpreted as lack. The ordinary man cannot endure this. He keeps digging up the seed to prove it is growing, and in doing so, he kills the very future he wants to reveal. He posts too early. He speaks too much. He announces plans before they have roots. He seeks validation before he has results. But the powerful man protects the underground season. He allows the roots to deepen in obscurity. He understands that the unseen is not the unreal. Often, it is the place where reality is being formed. Consider the mountain. Clouds move across it. Storms strike it. Travelers name it differently from every side. Some call it beautiful. Some call it dangerous. Some curse it for blocking the path. Yet the mountain does not bend its peak toward each opinion. It does not explain its height. It does not apologize for being difficult to climb. It allows each observer to reveal himself by how he approaches it. The impatient man sees only obstacle. The disciplined man sees ascent. The fearful man sees danger. The ambitious man sees test. The mountain remains the same, and in remaining the same, it becomes a mirror. So it is with the man who does not rush to prove himself. His silence becomes a mirror. Those who are insecure interpret it as arrogance. Those who are manipulative interpret it as resistance. Those who are wise recognize it as discipline. Those who depend on emotional access feel threatened by his boundaries. Those who respect power understand that not all strength is displayed on command. By refusing to constantly explain himself, he allows others to reveal their relationship with uncertainty. Some will leave because they cannot control what they cannot read. Let them leave. Their departure is not always a loss. Sometimes it is intelligence gathering performed by time. There is a final image, a king holding a sealed letter. Around him, ministers argue. Enemies spread rumors beyond the palace walls. Courtiers whisper that he must respond immediately or lose face. The young king would break the seal in panic, read the letter aloud, explain every motive, defend every decision, and hope the court returns its approval. But the seasoned king places the letter beside him and lets the room continue speaking. He watches who becomes nervous. He watches who grows bold. He watches who pretends loyalty and who hungers for weakness. His silence is not indecision. It is a lantern lowered into the hidden waters of the room. When he finally speaks, he does not speak to prove that he is king. He speaks because the moment has become useful. That is the difference. The immature man uses speech to repair his insecurity. The powerful man uses speech to alter reality. The immature man reveals himself because he is afraid of being misunderstood. The powerful man reveals only what serves the larger structure. He knows that every throne is protected first, not by soldiers, wealth, or reputation, but by the ruler's ability to remain seated while lesser forces try to make him rise. And perhaps this is the oldest symbolic lesson of all. The sun does not chase shadows. It does not argue with the night. It does not run across the sky begging the earth to notice its fire. It appears when the hour belongs to it, and the darkness retreats without negotiation. Powerful men move in the same rhythm. They do not rush to prove themselves because they are not trying to win the moment. They are waiting for the hour when their presence becomes undeniable. To understand why powerful men never rush to prove themselves is one thing. To live it when the blood is hot, when the insult lands, when the room misreads you, when someone tries to reduce your silence into weakness is something entirely different. Philosophy becomes real only when it meets friction. A man may admire restraint in theory, but the moment his pride is touched, the old machinery awakens. The mouth wants to explain, the face wants to harden, the hands want to reach for evidence. The mind begins gathering arguments like soldiers before a sudden war. Yet this is precisely the moment where power is either preserved or surrendered. Not in the grand speeches, not in the public victories, but in the private second between stimulus and response. In everyday life, this principle begins with the refusal to be emotionally summoned on command. Someone doubts your ambition, and you do not immediately open the vault of your plans. Someone questions your competence, and you do not drag your entire history into the room like a witness. Someone tries to provoke you with disrespect, and you do not reward them with the spectacle of your disturbance. This does not mean you accept humiliation or allow people to cross boundaries. It means you stop confusing self-respect with emotional display. A boundary can be quiet and still be absolute. A man can leave a conversation without raising his voice. He can say less and mean more. He can deny access without performing anger. In fact, the cleanest form of authority often arrives without drama. The practical world is filled with hidden tests of urgency. In business, negotiation, friendship, romance, family, status, and money, people are constantly measuring how quickly you move when they apply pressure. If you rush to prove your value to a client, you may train them to treat you as replaceable. If you rush to prove loyalty to people who have not earned it, you may teach them that your devotion is cheap. If you rush to prove success through appearance, you may purchase admiration at the cost of freedom. If you rush to prove intelligence in every conversation, you may become exhausting rather than respected. The world does not only listen to what you say, it studies what you cannot resist doing. This is especially important in money. Many men lose financial power because they're trying to solve emotional insecurity with visible consumption. They want the car, the watch, the table, the clothing, the apartment, the image, not because these things are inherently wrong, but because they are being used as proof before the foundation is stable. The system profits from this wound. It sells status to men who have not yet built sovereignty. It offers credit as a mask. It turns insecurity into monthly payments. It whispers that if others can see your success, then perhaps you will finally feel successful. But real financial power often grows quietly. It is the paid debt no one applauds, the emergency fund no one sees, the skill developed while others are showing off, the asset acquired while others are performing well. The powerful man understands that money used to buy validation becomes a chain, while money used to buy freedom becomes a weapon. In relationships, the same law applies. The man who rushes to prove his worth to someone who doubts him often lowers his own value in the process. He explains why he is loyal, why he is different, why he deserves attention, why he should not be abandoned. But love, respect, and attraction are rarely strengthened by desperate presentation. People value what carries his own center. A man who does not rush to prove himself is not cold. He is simply not begging to be chosen by those who cannot recognize him. He offers presence, but not servitude. He offers clarity, but not endless persuasion. He understands that the fear of losing someone can make a man negotiable. And once he becomes negotiable at the level of dignity, he becomes easy to manage. At work, this principle becomes a shield against petty hierarchy. There will always be people who try to make you perform insecurity for them. Some will question your ability in front of others. Some will withhold praise to see whether you become hungry for it. Some will create artificial pressure to watch you scramble. If you respond to every small move with visible anxiety, you become part of their game. But when your work is consistent, your speech measured, and your reactions controlled, you become harder to classify and harder to dominate. You do not need to constantly announce your importance. You become important by becoming reliable, difficult to shake, and increasingly useful without becoming desperate to be used. The integration of this principle requires a change in how you measure victory. Most men measure victory by the immediate feeling of winning the moment. They want the last word. They want the visible correction. They want the satisfaction of proving someone wrong now. But the powerful man measures victory by position. Did this response increase my leverage or reduce it? Did this explanation protect my dignity or expose my hunger? Did this purchase increase my freedom or merely decorate my insecurity? Did this reaction serve my mission or only feed my ego? These questions turn ordinary life into strategy. They move a man from impulse to architecture. There will be moments when proof is necessary. Silence is not always wisdom. Sometimes a man must present evidence, defend a boundary, clarify a falsehood, or demonstrate competence. But the difference lies in the source of the action. Are you speaking because the situation requires it, or because your insecurity cannot tolerate being unseen? Are you showing the result because the timing is strategic, or because you are addicted to applause? Are you defending yourself because truth must be protected, or because pride has been touched? This inner distinction is everything. The same action can be powerful or weak, depending on whether it comes from command or compulsion. To live this way, a man must develop a private center stronger than public wither. He must practice pausing before responding, saving plans until they have substance, allowing results to mature before display, and letting some people misunderstand him without chasing them for correction. He must learn to move like a deep river rather than a shallow stream. The shallow stream makes noise because it strikes every stone. The deep river moves with quiet force because its power is carried beneath the surface. This is not merely a social tactic. It is a way of reclaiming one's life from the economy of reaction. Eventually, the world begins to feel the difference. People sense when a man is not easily baited. They sense when his approval cannot be cheaply purchased. They sense when his silence is not emptiness, but discipline. They may not understand it, but they adjust around it. Some become more careful. Some become more respectful. Some become uncomfortable because they can no longer locate the handle by which to move him. And that is the real implication. The man who never rushes to prove himself becomes difficult to control because he no longer places his worth in the hands of the moment. In the end, the reason powerful men never rush to prove themselves is not because they have nothing to prove. It is because they understand that proof, when offered too quickly, loses its sacred force. A diamond does not become more valuable because it is thrown into every hand that doubts its worth. A throne does not become more legitimate because the king keeps standing up to convince every passerby that he belongs there. Real power carries a different rhythm. It moves beneath noise. It ripens in private. It gathers density in the dark, like a storm forming beyond the horizon before the first wind reaches the village. But the man who rushes to prove himself is still living under the rule of the crowd. He may call it ambition, he may call it passion, he may call it confidence, but beneath the surface, there's often a wound asking to be witnessed. He wants the room to heal something the room did not create. He wants strangers, rivals, lovers, friends, and enemies to confirm what he has not yet anchored within himself. And because of this, he becomes vulnerable to every hand that knows where to press. A little doubt, and he explains. A little disrespect, and he performs strength. A little silence, and he fills the air with reasons he should be void. He does not realize that he is not proving power. He is proving dependency. But the powerful man has entered another order of being. He has learned to survive the discomfort of being unseen. He has learned to let his work remain hidden until it becomes strong enough to stand without protection. He has learned that not every opinion deserves access to his inner court. He has learned that some people will only understand him after it no longer matters whether they do. This is not bitterness. It is liberation. It is the moment a man stops trying to be translated for every small mind that misreads him. It is the moment he stops dragging his soul into public debate. It is the moment he begins to live from center, not from reaction. There is a strange peace that comes when a man no longer needs immediate recognition. He becomes harder to insult because he is not secretly waiting to be crowned by others. He becomes harder to manipulate because urgency no longer hypnotizes him. He becomes harder to seduce because praise does not make him forget his direction. He becomes harder to destroy because his identity is not built from borrowed mirrors. He has removed his worth from the marketplace of instant judgment. And once a man does that, much of the world's power over him begins to dissolve. This is the transformation hidden inside the principle. It is not merely about seeming mysterious, acting quiet, or refusing to explain yourself for the sake of appearance. That too can become another performance, another costume worn by insecurity. The deeper invitation is to become so rooted in your mission, your values, your discipline, your financial clarity, your emotional restraint, and your long vision that you no longer feel the frantic need to prove your existence at every moment. Silence then becomes natural. Patience becomes natural. Selective revelation becomes natural. You do not withhold yourself because you are playing a game. You withhold what is sacred because you understand its value. A man who lives this way begins to build a different kind of life. He spends less energy correcting shallow perceptions and more energy strengthening reality. He stops announcing every plan and starts completing more of them. He stops buying symbols of power before he has built the foundation of freedom. He stops chasing people who require him to audition for respect. He stops fighting battles that only exist to drain him. He stops explaining his boundaries to those who benefit from crossing them. His life becomes quieter, but not smaller. It becomes less visible in foolish places, and more powerful in meaningful ones. And slowly, the world responds, not always with applause, sometimes with confusion, sometimes with resistance, sometimes with envy, but also with a different kind of respect. People sense when a man is no longer begging to be understood. They sense when his calm is not emptiness, but command. They sense when his silence has walls behind it. They sense when his patience is not hesitation, but timing. They may not have the language for it, but they feel the weight of it. he becomes like the fortress above the valley, the mountain behind the clouds, the deep river moving without noise. He does not need to chase authority, because authority has begun to gather around him. So the call is simple, but not easy. Stop rushing to prove what time can reveal more powerfully. Stop giving instant access to people who have not earned depth from you. Stop mistaking explanation for dignity. Stop using money to purchase the illusion of arrival. Stop reacting to every small challenge as if your entire identity were on trial. Let some people misunderstand you. Let some rooms underestimate you. Let some voices speak without receiving your defense. Let silence become a discipline, not a mask. Let patience become a weapon, not an excuse. Let your results mature until they carry their own gravity. The next time you feel the urge to prove yourself, pause. Feel the heat rise in the body. Feel the old hunger for recognition. Feel the need to correct, defend, display, and be seen. Then ask yourself what part of you is trying to take the throne. Is it your mission or your wound? Is it your wisdom or your fear? Is this a moment asking for action? Or is it merely baiting your insecurity into performance? That pause is where sovereignty begins. That pause is the gate of the fortress closing before the crowd can enter. That pause is the difference between a man controlled by perception and a man governed by purpose. Power does not always arrive as a roar. Sometimes it arrives as the sentence you choose not to say. Sometimes it arrives as the purchase you refuse to make. Sometimes it arrives as the plan you keep private. Sometimes it arrives as the person you stop chasing, the insult you do not answer, the room you do not need to impress, the silence you allow to become uncomfortable for everyone except you. The world will keep demanding proof from you. It will keep calling urgency wisdom, noise confidence, visibility success, and reaction strength. But beneath that noise, the older law remains unchanged. The man who owns himself does not rush to be recognized. He builds until recognition becomes irrelevant. And by then, his power is no longer a claim. It is a presence